It gives me great pleasure to welcome to the lectern one of my heroes, a legend in rugby league, former Australian and South Sydney captain, front row extraordinaire, and one of the hard men. Would you please welcome John Sattler? Thank you, everybody. I wonder if all the NRL WOMBATS have gone away for the weekend. Because if they're here and around, or even just like one iota of an idea of the number of people that have turned out here today to tell them what they're not doing for our game. What they're doing is raping it. Rupert Murdoch, all he's interested in is money, and now that he's not making money from it, he's now trying to pass it on to somebody else. They should be here today seeing what the people have done here today with their feet and their hearts and their souls. This is rugby league. This is what it's about. When there's fellas like Benny Elias, Mick Cronin, Peter Wynn, Bob O'Reilly, Jack Gibson, all of you other people from other clubs, they're just saying we're not happy with the game. We're not a headstone that'll get buried in a bloody cemetery and forgotten about. South Sydney, it is the headstone of rugby league. And if they're not there, I don't know where it's going to go. The stupid World Cup they've got over there playing all the various countries that have never played the game ever, instead of them being back here, concentrating on the game that you people want to see. The reason the people are not going is because of the bludgers that are in there, led by David Moffat, who has not got one idea of what he's on about. So let's all just keep this up. If they haven't got common sense to see the people power and what the people think of the game of rugby league, the way it's going, or the way it's heading, if it goes like this for another 2 years, our game will be on its knees and other sports will be taking over. We certainly don't want that. We at South Sydney certainly don't want it. And until such time as they start taking notice, get South Sydney back in the competition, get rid of the bloody Kiwis and get on with the game. If they did the right thing and did everybody a favour, the whole of the NRL would resign and let some decent rugby league people get back in charge and give the people back what they want. Great rugby league. Let's go and keep it up on South. Thank you very much. Thanks for coming. Stick it up on kids. Here he is, ladies and gentlemen, John Sattler. Sats, a legend. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Alan Jones.
Ladies and gentlemen, I just want to speak firstly, not just to South Sydney people. There are people here today who know that this game is seriously at risk. Ask Illawarra, they know. Ask Western Suburbs, they know. Ask Balmain, they know. Ask Manly, they know. Ask Adelaide, they know. Ask Perth, they know. They've been buried by the administration of this game and they're not going to bury South. Pick up the paper today, and both newspapers on Sunday lead with a story of Sir Donald Bradman. That is a shameful story about a person who believed that he was legally entitled to sell Bradman's letters. The public are outraged because morally he's not entitled. Legally, the NRL say we should be on the outside. Morally, they're not entitled to say that. I'm simply saying to the NRL, if you believe that you can survive in the future without the support of these people, then you don't understand the game. If you believe you can make a quid in rugby league without the support of these people, then you don't know anything about the game. But then it's quite clear that the people running the game don't know anything about the game. This team, South Sydney, have never owed anyone a cent. They've never not paid a player. Yet the administration of this game seeks to keep in this competition an administration in New Zealand that owe hundreds of thousands of dollars to players. This administration have kept in a game a team which has as its guarantor a $2 shelf company. That team is still in the competition and this club is not allowed a place in the competition. What kind of running the game. They are saying, the court case last week said, well, you argued the question of whether it was fair or not. The judge said they didn't have to be fair. They only had to aim to be fair. What kind of system are we running? What kind of justice prevails? When we argued that we were solvent and should have a place in the competition, the judge said, well, he didn't have to have that definition of solvency. It wasn't appropriate for this competition. Your presence here today is a statement that not only are South Sydney at risk, but the game itself is at risk. The game itself cannot go on while it alienates people like you, while it ignores people who've come here today from Tennant Creek in the Northern Territory, from Toowoomba in Queensland, from Ballarat in Victoria, from all over Australia. This is an Australia-wide movement. The NRL would try to tell us, in spite of all of this, that South Sydney is dead. Well, I'm telling you something, the NRL will be dead before South Sydney dies. There is no person in this city or in this country can recall when any single issue created the media attention that we got last Friday and the public support that we got today. I'm saying to Mr Moffat and his team, if there was a meeting in support of the NRL today, you wouldn't get 10 people on the town hall steps. People have said to me as I walked up the street here, well, Alan, they said, what are we going to do? Where does it happen now? How long can it go on? I'm saying to you, as long as your spirit is strong and your will is strong, South will go on. We're not going away just because of a march. And what I'd like you all to do, if you can, and I know you've made tremendous sacrifices for this club just in being here, you've come miles, you've come from interstate, you've put off all sorts of functions. If you could just squeeze $10, if everybody here today could just find $5 or $10 for the cause, we've got $250,000 and the NRL can never beat the people power that is on display here today. Right down the street where you're standing, they have what they call heritage buildings. And they say it's a heritage building and therefore you can't touch it. This club is a heritage club and we're saying to the league, you can't touch it. You cannot build history in any sport by destroying the history that has already been made. You can't build tradition in any sport by destroying the tradition that has already been made, and this club has the greatest history and the greatest tradition, not only in rugby league, but in any sport in this country. And the message is going out to those who run the game and saying, honour the tradition, honour the sport, honour the history, and bring South now into the competition. One final point I think we need to get clear. We're not interested in hearing what one judge or another has to say about who should be in the rugby league competition. That doesn't concern us. There are a group of people down here in Phillip Street who can make that decision today, who can respond to this call that the public are making today. The game is being run, and badly run, by people in Phillip Street. They should respond to this message today and say, we've heard the people. In the interests of the game, let's unify the game and unify the people in it and bring South Sydney back into the